Guys, let me know if you can hear audio now. I apologize for that. I had the mic was not all the way plugged in. User error. All right. Let's try this again in here. Testing 1 2 1 2. How's audio? Is it coming through? Got audio. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. Thanks for letting me know, guys and gals. Just want to welcome everyone to the live stream this evening. I know it's kind of late, but just want to kind of quickly cover over some things tonight, some survival and bushcraft knives, and kind of talk a little bit about bushcraft and survival knives in general, not just brands or anything like that. But I did want to do a top down here to make it a little easier to see. And also that way visually you can see these a little bit cleaner than if I was outdoors. So I am in my studio right now. I've got some lighting on here just to make it look a little bit clearer for you there. Just a casual hangout this evening and discussion. And I really am looking forward to hearing from you all in the chat tonight. So just please type any questions, concerns, or anything, ideas, or anything that you've got in there as we go along. I've got some little trivia things I want to put in here as well. But I do want to encourage chat interaction this evening. But I do want to welcome everyone. I know we've got just a couple in here right now. Hopefully some more will chime in here in a minute. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Brian Hensley, 6058. Hey, Brian. Love Shays Loco. Hey, Love Shays Loco. I believe you were in the last chat that we had here a while back in January. Braxton's Outdoor Life. And let's see here, Quartz Matter #1. And let's see, anyone else in here? Yes, sir. Yep, got it. So I want everyone just to kind of, in the chat there, just let me know where you're watching from this evening, where you're at around the world. I'm always interested to see where you're from. I'm here on the East Coast in about central North Carolina, and I've been here I'm 47. I've lived here my entire life. So I'm on the East Coast, but let me know where you're from around the world, where you're watching from. Also, if you are into bushcraft and survival knives, let me know what type of knife do you carry right now. It could be a flipper if you're into EDC or whatnot, something a little bit smaller, maybe a fixed blade that's smaller. But let me know what you carry. If you do any bushcrafting, any camping, hiking, survival type stuff, do you carry a specific knife? Is there a certain brand that you like to carry? Just north of Detroit. I've been to Detroit, Greg. That was back in 2007, I think I was in Detroit. I see here, Love Shay Loco listening from my warm forge in Alaska. Yeah, I remember the cold there, Love Shay. Brian Hensley's from Southwest Ohio. Man, there's a lot of great instructors, bushcraft and survival instructors out of Ohio. It's just something about that place. They're just something in the water. Let's see here. Cool. So what type of knives do you guys like to carry? If you could only pick one knife to carry on you, would you pick something like a folder, or would you rather have something smaller like a fixed blade? Just kind of let me know in the chat what your thoughts are on those. Fixed blade or folders, or something that you kind of gravitate toward one or the other. But I do want to take a look at here as we get going on Southwest Ohio at our chat. So just to kind of cover some of these, obviously we've got some a bigger knife here. We've got some larger ones here and here and here. These are some of the more standard size bushcraft knives, I would say. We've got some with some Kydex holsters here. Some people like leather. Some people hate leather. Some people love Kydex. Some people hate Kydex. I kind of gravitate toward either, but I do like leather just for the look itself. It just has a specific look to it. I do like more of a traditional style leather holster rather than something that's mass produced on like a machine. These are by Civivi. They're a little bit more just generic looking, more sterile looking to me, rather than something that's a little more custom. Some of these I have put minx oil on. I don't know if you are into weatherproofing your leather or not, but I like to put a lot of minx oil on mine to keep them dry. Here in the state of North Carolina, we get a lot of humidity in the summer and late summer, and it just we just sweat like crazy around here, and that sweat will really do a number on your gear. Greg says prefer a folder in Michigan, but for EDC, but prefer a fixed in the field. Okay, Greg, what kind of folder do you carry? And if you have a fixed in the field, which one do you carry? Love Shay fixed all the way with the size in the middle row, fourth from left. You just picked up 1, 2, 3, 4. This one here. Okay. So yeah, you're looking at this is the Civivi. Is this the timber bark? I believe this is the timber bark. It's one of those. Yep. And I just did a small little short on this one not too long ago. It's got a specialized wooden handle. Fairly standard for a bushcraft knife size here. Drop point blade. But yeah, it's a great knife. I've used it a little bit, not a whole lot. Let's see what else we got. Fixed all the way. Yep. Being my size. But yeah, as far as brands and models, there's so many different ones out there. I highly recommend looking into companies like the Pathfinder gear, PKS, Pathfinder Knife Shop. They make some excellent knives at a really great price point. The 1, 2, 3, these are all LT Wright knives here, and these are going to be a little bit more custom. They're going to have a little bit more features to them and some other things compared to the PKS. And then Civivi, obviously, you kind of know what you're getting with those, with their folders. ZT makes a decent knife, and brought this one because I don't use it a whole lot. This is Gerber, and it's a decent knife for what it is. I don't know if anyone has this knife or not, but I'll pull it up close here. It uses S30V steel, made in USA. Gerber tried to go all out on this one. It is a decent knife. I do like that 90-degree spine on this one. But there's a lot of different brands out there. I'm sure everybody has heard about the little incident with the one company. I'm not going to mention the names, but it just kind of went down, and they had some issues with their management there. So there's all kind of companies out there that make bush and survival knives. So let me know which ones you use. If you could carry one specific type of steel in the woods, let me know what it would be. Is it going to be more of a carbon steel or more of a stainless steel? I kind of want to know your thoughts on that, because that's a whole video in itself, carbon steel and stainless steel. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. Let's see here. PKS Cougar. This is from Brian Hensley. PKS Cougar is my fixed blade thus far. Ohio's home. Watch you. Dave see the most. Yeah, Dave Canterbury's awesome. He's a great guy. Does phenomenal work. Love their products. I have a ton of his bush pods, all of those different things. I just recently bought some of those fire irons that you can make like a fire pit with and some other things. I'm getting ready to do a video on those, but I've got a couple of the PKS knives here. I believe this one's called the Mountaineer, if my memory serves correctly. You don't have to forgive me on the names on some of these because I buy them and use them. I don't really pay too much attention to the names. PKS Mountaineer. Fairly good knife right there. The only thing I wish they did was make the pins a little bit larger on these, because it's a bigger knife. I feel like a bigger pin would just instill a little bit more confidence. But great knife, Scandi grind here. Nice 90-degree spine for striking. Ferro rod, that one's from Pathfinder Knife Shop. This was one of my first Bushcraft knives, the PKS Scorpion, I believe it is, Scandi grind. Love Shea Loco carbon steel for me. Believe you remember why. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. PKS Scorpion. Nice knife. At the price point, it cannot be beat. I've used and abused this knife quite a bit more than I should have. This is another PKS knife I've got here. I want to say this is the Camp Companion. This is kind of like a food prep knife slash skinning knife in a way. I added the bank line, the tarred bank line there to give it a little bit more grip. It's just a little bit too slippery for me, so I put some tarred bank line, just did a straight lash on this, cut off the two ends. That's a PKS Camp Companion. Yep. Good knife. These shipped with a neck sheath. I never use a neck knife, but I think they eventually switched over to having a standard belt sheath or hip sheath. Let's see here. Here's this beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. High carbon steel is my favorite. Yeah, a lot of people gravitate toward those high carbon steels. You know, you don't really have to maintain them as far as who's typing that right there? Love the Companion. I have that one as well. Love the bank line idea. Yeah, Brian, I had to put that bank line on there. If you have any tarred bank line, it's sticky and tacky to begin with. So once you put that on there, it's not going anywhere, and it gives it some good texturing there. Unless you take a Dremel and Dremel out some of the like a groove or something on here, this knife is just, it's too slippery for me. So that little bit of bank line helps out tremendously. Yeah, but the stainless, you're not having to mess around too much with. The carbon steel there. Who's that typing on that, love? Yeah, a lot of these. So, like, let's see, what have we got here? Trying to remember. I cannot remember what these are made out of. And 1075 PKS knives, maybe 1075. So you got to be careful with those with rusting. I've not had too many issues here. You know, if you take care of your knives, you're not going to have a problem with it. I know everybody in here knows what full tang is, obviously full tang being, and just if there is somebody in here that's not aware of what full tang is, it's the blade runs the full length. The metal runs the full length of the knife. So it's not cut here and it's not able to be folded. So full tang is just from one end, one piece, one end to the next. All right. All right, so I want to get everyone's ideas on knife sizes real quick. I just want to talk and touch a little bit on that. Obviously, there's a lot of different sizes on here. This is a machete from LT Wright. This is their Overland machete. Fairly large blade, right? This is going to be great for some place like Florida, the Everglades. I don't think you would need this in Alaska, although you never know. I'm sure you could use it for something if you had to. I have seen guys take and run the loop back here through their arm like this and use this for fine whittling. So now I've got a free hand and I can come in here and do my work. So I don't know if you've ever seen anybody do anything like that before, but that's a possibility with one of these blades. Even though it's bigger, it's still usable for certain things out of the obvious. Look, Tops Dragonfly fixed blade. Oh yeah, Tops makes some excellent knives. An Alpha Dorado folder. Yep. Camp Dog Doodle, what's going on? Camp Dog Doodle, thanks for joining. But the LT Wright Overland Machete. This one is going to have some weight to it. And if you try to walk around too long outdoors with this, you're really going to feel this on your hip. So something to practice with if you're going to try to carry that full time. Love Shay Loco, my bug out bag have. Let's see what we got here. Have a machete attached to its molly. Cool. What kind of machete is it? Just like a basic machete that you can get from something like the local tool store, like Ace Hardware or something. Love Shay. What type of machete do you have? But sizes of knives. You know, as far as carrying around a larger knife, I've got some smaller ones here. These are the LT Wright. This one is, I believe, the Patriot. Could be wrong. I think this is the Patriot. If anybody knows LT Wright knives, they know they go above and beyond on the quality and craftsmanship. This is rejected. Homemade out of railroad rail. Oh man, that's awesome. I wish I could see a picture of it. Is there a way that you can send me a photo of that, Love Shay Loco? I don't know if you can. My email is in the description of the channel. If you can email me a picture of it, that'd be great. I'd really like to see that. But anyways, smaller knives, right? Something super small, easy to carry in the hand, fixed blade. Can take this about anywhere, right? 01 tool steel, I believe, on this one. Another smaller one, and these have bone handles, red dyed bone handles. This one is the Frontier First by LT Wright. Again, let me get you in focus here. This is red dyed bone. I don't know if my autofocus is not wanting to. There it goes. Frontier First. And these are very unique, the way they dye these. So once they're gone, they're gone. And then another small one that I like to carry, this is the LT Wright Little Muck. This is with an A, so that's A2 steel. The variations are sometimes fairly dramatic. We got some liners on this one. Orange liners there, high vis orange. Plus an X. Photo may take me a minute to charge account. Oh, there's no rush. Just if you can get it to me, you know, anytime down the road, that'd be great. I'll look forward to it, checking that out. All right, so going into looking at some of the sizes again, some smaller knives, some larger bushcraft knives. This is the LT Wright Gen 3. This is a fairly hefty knife, okay? This is not something you want to carry around all day in the bush, but if you needed something that's going to get the job done and you don't want to have to worry about carrying but one knife, this is the one I tend to take with me. Okay. Big handle, big grip there, larger pins. Great for a survival knife. Maybe not so much about a bushcraft knife, just because of how big it is, but you can use this easily for bushcraft too. I think for me, a good bushcraft knife, something that I can easily take it with me every day. For instance, this is one of my favorite knives I've ever had. This is the GNS A2 steel from LT Wright. I don't know if my autofocus is picking up here. I get a good shot of that one. This one's blistering, hair splitting sharp. I've sharpened this one on a leather strop. Very rarely do I beat this one up anymore, but it has been through the ringer and it looks brand new, if not better. All right. So size-wise, again, something simple you can carry in your hand. I can work fairly easily with this. I can do a lot of different fine tasks with this. No problem. All right. Great blade shape. This is also great for batoning wood. I'm not going to baton in here, but if you know what batoning wood is or splitting wood, that Scandi grind is great as acting like a wedge to help push that wood apart, right? Once you get that curve started, this is just going to split right through it like an axe head. Okay. So something with a Scandi grind is going to be my recommendation for a bushcraft knife. Survival knife, maybe a little different. Survival knife, I do like to have something like a full flat grind. This is a 0 tolerance 0006. Great steel, 3V steel, made in USA, CPM 3V rather. And then you've got some nice textured grip here, super tacky when your hands get wet. The only thing I regret that they did not do with this knife was put a 90-degree spine on it. I've tried to think about why they might not do that, but they left that off on this model. I have been able to get a spark off of this sharpening choil down here on the bottom, but up here around where the jimping's at, it's just rounded off. This would be more, in my mind, considered to be a survival type knife. All right. Got a little bit of a swedge right here on the end. That's going to make it a little bit easier for piercing. Zero tolerance 0006. Okay. Fairly lightweight, well balanced, at least in my usage. I have beat this knife up quite a bit. It does have a Cerakote finish on it, and you can tell here that aside from just a few minor scratches, it looks brand new. You'd be hard pressed to really damage this knife. One of the downfalls, screw on butt cap here. If that comes loose, this whole thing's coming off. I've not had any troubles with it, and I've beat on this pretty hard. Again, this is 0 tolerance 0006, 0006. Another reason why I would consider this a survival knife is Kydex sheath. I love leather, but in a long-term situation, this Kydex is going to last a long time. It will outlive me, right? Nylon webbing here, that's just going to hold up a lot longer, especially in the hot summers, cold winters, compared to something like leather, which as you can see here, this is just from the sweat in North Carolina, and look how bad this is cracking. That is already, I mean, I use this knife 3-4 days out of the week. And that is a year and a half's worth of usage. So you can see how much I use this knife in the leather versus this, which looks brand new. Okay, survival style knife, something along this line. Bushcraft style knife, something along this line. Okay, do we have a fire steel in here? Got a little pocket there for it. Right, you can scrape off some of this wood, which I have many times, to be able to make a fire. All right, let's see. We're going to talk a little bit about, real quick, striking capabilities. Again, I just went over that here with the 0006. Does not have a 90-degree spine. Some people frown upon using the blade. However, in a survival situation, you're going to want to use that blade. I would probably use the tip more than anything, because the majority of the time when you use a knife, you're using these first 2 to 3 inches here. Unless you're stabbing something, you're not going to be using this a whole lot. That's the reason why when you sharpen a knife, this right here is usually not worn down as much as the rest of it down here toward the bottom. So you're not going to be able to get a good ferro rod strike on this knife versus, like we look at, all the LT knives have a 90-degree spine, super sharp. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Super sharp. Let's see here. This Civivi here. This Civivi timber bark does not have a 90-degree spine. That was another one of my suggestions for them, was why leave off a critical part of Firecraft here by taking away that 90-degree spine. Okay. PKS knives. I don't think Dave's ever made a knife that didn't have a 90-degree spine, but these have a very true 90-degree spine on these. I would give the edge over to LT Wright just for the sharpness factor, but I've never had a problem creating using a ferro rod with one of my PKS knives. They always produce results. This little guy, don't remember this one's name. Civivi. Too thin? As far as grips are concerned, how important are the grips to you? Do you want something super thin? You'll notice here you've got 2 sets of jimping here on this. Obvious reasons is to be able to choke up on there and get your thumb in for skinning. Doing fine task with that. They obviously left off the 90-degree spine on this one. Could be a neck knife. Does have a belt Kydex sheath here. Does have excellent retention. All right. Somebody asked, how do you feel that wood handle knives will hold up long term? Great question. A lot of it's going to be based off of how you treat your knives. Okay. Something that is made out of, for instance, where's this one at? This is a burlap micarta. This is a Les Stroud field knife. I don't know if everyone knows who Les Stroud is. Survivor Man on YouTube. If you ever get an opportunity, check him out. This is the knife he designed. LT Wright produced it for him. One of my favorite knives. This burlap micarta handle here has been beat with mallets, wooden mallets and everything, and it still looks brand new. Even the butt here. I don't know if my focus here on this. Can you see that? Not a chip, not a ding, nothing. Burlap micarta. So micarta handles are going to hold up a lot longer, I feel like, than wood. Wood, with the weather, can swell. It can contract. It can get dry, it can break, it can become brittle over time. My PKS knives, I'm not sure what kind of wood Dave and his crew use over there, but I have beat these knives, and you can see the butt down here does look like it's got a little bit of, let me see if I can get it in focus here. It's been used quite a bit, but there's no cracks, nothing. So these knives have taken a beating, and they just use a specific type of wood. It's on their website listed. I'm not sure exactly which one they use, but I've had this in moisture-rich areas. I've not seen any issues with that. I've had it in very dry climates here in North Carolina. I mean, our humidity levels sometimes just crash, and your skin dries out and everything, and I've not had any issues with these swelling or causing problems, cracking or anything. If I had a choice, micarta probably would be my choice for long-term, something along those lines. Some type of micarta handle would be my preferred choice. I will give whatever Gerber did with this knife on the handle, is something about it is very comfortable. I'm not a big fan of the blade shape on this one. It's one of the reasons why I don't carry it very often. And being the S30V is sort of hard to sharpen with just a standard sharpening stone. So I don't carry this one a whole lot. But they got the handle right on this one. Something about it. Feels like it would last forever. Let's see here. But yeah, fire striking ability, very important. Check your knives. Even these smaller knives from LT Wright have a 90-degree spine. You can see here when I pull my thumb across that. It's pulling off skin. You see that right there. That's how sharp their spines are. Okay? LT Wright. Fire striking ability, especially for bushcraft, and I would even say even probably more important for survival, right? I can't remember the original Rambo knife. I think they had 6 of those produced, but I remember the end cap would come off and he had a way to start a fire in that. That's kind of what I would like to have seen with something like this from Zero Tolerance. It would have been really cool to have a way to produce a fire with this, but even the spine there is not 90 degrees, so not going to happen. Whereas with this, I've got a 90-degree spine and I've got my ferro rod there. Shelter building. Which knives would be best for shelter building? I believe with shelter building, you're going to have a hard time using something that's going to be smaller for shelter building, and especially if you're having to use it for cutting and doing large tasks. Something bigger with a thicker spine, fairly thicker here compared to, say, the GNS here. See the differences in the, let me get you pulled up here on the focus. May not focus here, guys. No, autofocus doesn't want to play right tonight. But this particular one is going to be fairly thick compared to the GNS. You can probably see there the difference in thickness. All day long, I would trust this for doing shelter building. Not so much on the smaller blades. What grind is the most common in bushcraft knives? Does anyone know? What specific grind is the most common in bushcraft knives? Just let me know what your thoughts are on that. All right, just reading through the chat here. Trying to stay on target. Okay, Scandi. NTPL Prophecy. Yeah, Scandi is going to be definitely the most common grind in bushcraft knives. Scandi for sure. Let's talk about the steel quality for just a second. And just as far as quality is concerned, let me know in the chat, because I'm trying to look at some newer knives here that I'm going to try to pick up. But what are some of your thoughts on the steel quality? Are you specific in like the super steels, or are you looking more into something 1075? D2 steels are you guys into as far as the steel quality is concerned? Let me know in the chat. A lot of the knives I've got are 01 or 02 tool steel. Yep. Ideal Bushcraft blade length is going to be 3 to 5 inches. Again, 3 to 5 inches. GNS here, LT Wright. It's probably going to be one of your best bets. They're somewhat pricey. I'd say save up and get one. This was one of the first ones I bought from LT Wright. I was super stoked when the delivery guy dropped that one off. So down in the chat, let me know what the most important feature in a survival knife is for you. And then let me know also what's the first knife you ever owned. If you can remember that far back. Trying to get some ideas here from you guys tonight. You can tell me Genesis, brother, full tang. You can call me Genesis. Okay, yeah. Cool. Most important feature for me is to be full tang. Yeah, full tang all the way. All the way. All right, so I'm going to pull most of these out of their cases here so we can just get an overall look at these, or out of their sheaths, I should say. I say cases because I deal with a lot of camera equipment. I'm constantly saying cases, just so we can see what these look like. Hold on the table here. If you watch a lot of my YouTube videos, they're shorts. Very rarely do I do a long form, but the majority of my shorts, I end up editing out all this part. So this is different to be able to sit here and do all this stuff live. One of my favorites. I haven't talked much about this one. This is the Civivi, I can't remember, T-Tong or something like that. I've had that one for a while. I've used it a couple times. It's just a monster of a knife. This one you got to watch, taking it out of that Kydex holster there. It'll bite you. All right. All right, so we've got a bunch of different blades on here. Let's try to put some of the smaller ones, some of the larger ones here. Smaller ones here. And I can't see all the ones on the bottom. Let's move those up a little bit here. All right. So I've tried to real quickly just kind of put these out there on size-wise. So here again, 3 to 5 inches on these, somewhere around there, and on up, and then smaller knives down here on the bottom. More of the bushcraft style knives here, as far as size-wise is concerned. I feel like these are going to be more bush/survival style knives. You got a clip point on this one, which is going to make it a little bit better for stabbing. Same thing here on the 0006. Got that swedge there and a little bit more of a clip point there on that end for stabbing. And obviously with the spear type here, that's going to be excellent for stabbing. And then everything down here is for just small tasks, camp tasks, those types of things, right? Wood whittling, those types of things. Build quality on these are, I would say, excellent on all of these. I don't have a whole lot of knives that I don't trust because I've used all of them in some capacity, or I would not have them on the table today here to show you. So all of these knives I've used at least, you know, a couple handfuls of times, and they've all performed fairly well. Let's see here. We got some. Most love Shea Loco. Most important to me would be the handle. Reason being, if it don't feel right in the hand, it would be just as dangerous as a dull blade. Where a dull blade you can learn to fix. Yeah, great point. Love Shea Loco. The handle is going to be different for everybody, right? Large hands, small hands, whatever type style hands you have, your grips are going to be a little bit different. You know, something like the Civivi here, and the reason why I pull this one out is this handle sometimes can be a little bit annoying. I say that because of their tolerances. Their pins in here are stainless steel pins, and they're not ground down all the way to the wood. And so you can actually pick it with a nail. And it's a little bit annoying in your hand because you can feel it. And the same thing for up here. So it's an excellent knife. Works great, but the handle is just annoying. So again, would you carry that? I tend to like the broom style handles that are straight. Anything with a finger groove in it is great for using one way, but if I have to turn it around backwards and use it for something, now suddenly this is digging into my palm. And so that's one of the reasons why I like having a broomstick style handles, because I can use that both ways and it feels the same to me, right? 0006, I can use it this way. I can use it this way if I need to, and it feels the same, okay? This one might give you a little issue. This one might give you a little issue. These would be good, all right? But good point. Love Shea Loco. First knife I bought was BPS bushcraft knife. Thought it would be good for my first bushcraft knife. Cool. Yeah, there's so many knives out there, and you just, at some point, you just have to dive in and try one. I would say check out the messaging boards. Reddit, a lot of times, has some great reviews on knives. There's some other places out there, but save up. Buy once, cry once. Buy nice or buy twice, I say. GMA Nana. Hey, GMA Nana. Thanks for being here. First knife, Schrade, fixed 40 years ago. Yeah, Schrade back in the day. I've got some older Schrade knives. Those things are tanks. They still make some pretty decent stuff, but man, their stuff back in the day was crazy good. Was a gift. Oh man, but that was a good gift. Good gift. But yeah, bushcraft knives, survival knives. Let me see what else we got here. Trying to think of, so any other unique features on a knife. Sometimes people are a little bit picky about having a finger guard or something on it. Some people don't like them. This is more of a bayonet style here on the 0006. Some people hate it, some people love it. Same thing here, you got a little bit of a guard for your fingers. Not so much on some of the other ones. You know, your fingers can kind of slip right off of these and go from there. If you could pick one of these as far as appearance, because I mean, the cool factor is also there, right? We can always discuss functionality of a knife. How well does it perform? But does it also, does it appeal to you? Does it look good? That's a huge thing, right? Some people might like the look of this. Some people might not. I've used this knife so much. It's got a custom patina on the blade. When this blade first came in, it looked just like this one. It's polished. And over use and over time, it's just gotten this patina on it, right? Some people might not like it. This machete came like this. This is a custom patina that they put on it in the factory, right? The PKS knives, these have a custom patina on them as well, right? They're shipped like that. What would you rather have? Something that has more of a custom patina or something that has more of a gloss or sheen to it? Let me know in the chat what your thoughts are on that. Also, looks do have a way of changing a situation, right? Because if I show up to battle with something like this versus something like this or any of these really, it's going to possibly change the directions, the course of what's going to happen, right? So does looks matter to you? Let me know in the chat if looks matter to you. If it looks toughest, is that something that you look for when you purchase a bushcraft or survival knife? So favorite knives. We're going to start to wind down here a little bit. And favorite knives to look at here as far as if I could only pick one. I don't know what your favorite pick would be in your collection. For me, I try to get a balance of both survival / bushcraft. And I love the little pocketable ones. I think these are great. They're fantastic. They're easy to put in the pocket or put it on a belt. If I had to carry around anything, I don't think I would want to carry around such a large knife. But something along the lines of like this Gen 3 down here, maybe this Les Stroudfield knife. These two would probably be my top pick, with the edge going to the Gen 3 just because of the thicker blade still. With this patina that's built up on here, I've had this thing out in the rain and everything, and it has not rusted. So this is 02 or 01 tool steel. I can't remember, but one of those. And those are sometimes prone to rust, but I've not had any issues after having that patina on there. But if I could only pick one, probably be this one here on the end. Most practical, if I had to pick a practical daily knife to carry, it'd be one of these smaller ones. This one here goes with me to the steakhouse the couple times that we go throughout the year. It does have a patina on it just from slicing through food. Very small, compact, easy to conceal carry. Good practical knife, right? Everyday knife. Most durable. Probably going to be this 0006, right? Doesn't have a wooden handle, so I don't have to worry about the wood. And it does have an additional Cerakote on top of it. So 3V is pretty good, but even with the Cerakote, it's going to last a long time. Plus, it's got that Kydex sheath, right? If there's an outdoor test on any of these knives that you would like to see, let me know. Just tell me in the chat what number on the top row from left and what number on the bottom row from left. And let's see here what we got going on. Let's say, look, my appeal would be, what can I do with it? For if I can do 5 things with that knife, but 4 with the other, I would go with the 5. Okay. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it too. Absolutely, appeal is very important. You're 100% correct. Reading the rest of these here. What if you only had to choose one for the rest of the time? That's funny, Zach. One knife to use. I really like this burlap micarta. It's not wood, but it's also got some extra things mixed in with that micarta. So it's just super strong. It's got that weave built into this. It's super strong. I'd probably go with the Les Stroud. I'm not really a super big fan of Les Stroud. I mean, he's a great guy and everything, and his show's great. It's not that. I don't know him that well, and I don't know the show that well, but I love his knife. So knife maintenance is one. Okay, I was just finishing reading those last comments. Knife maintenance, just real briefly touching on those things. On knife maintenance, as far as keeping it up, that kind of ties in with everything else. The leather holsters, all those things. Knife maintenance is going to be a huge thing out in the bush, or especially for even survival. How are you going to touch up your blade? You know, if you're using a blade for trying to chop through steel or cut through nails or, you know, cut through walls even, you're going to want a good steel, but it's going to be hard to sharpen it, right? So those are some things to think about as well when it comes to bushcraft survival knives. If I'm going out on a day trip and I'm coming back home and I can touch up my blade on a strop at the end of the day, you know, pretty much any of these would be good. As far as the blade steel, sharpening. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about just starting and creating fires with these, because as we know, fire is going to be crucial out in the bush, being able to do things, especially when the hands are cold. We're going to need a fire. So I would highly recommend taking a look at knives that have a 90-degree spine. And if they don't, I wouldn't discredit it completely. Again, you can always use the blade. I know it's frowned upon. A lot of people, if you see a video and somebody's using the blade, it gets tons of negative comments. But in a survival situation, when you need that fire, you're going to use that blade. And even if you just kept it on one small little portion of the blade and don't use the rest of it, you still got the rest of your blade to use for cutting tasks. So again, I'd use it down here toward the end because you're not using that a whole lot anyways for cutting. But Firecraft, things of that nature are going to be important. So 90-degree spine. This one doesn't have a 90. I feel like they really made a mistake with that one, but maybe they'll come out with a new iteration. All right, so let's see here. Any other, what if you had on each? Okay, so any other comments down here, guys and gals? Let's see what we got going on down here. I know it's getting late. It's 9:15 here on the East Coast. All right, so listen, Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up, guys, because I know it's getting late for everybody. Everybody's got to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. So I just wanted to jump in here real quick. I'm gonna try to start having these a little bit more often here on the tabletop stuff, kind of going over gear and kit and stuff like that. With these first couple that I've had this year, I'm just trying to jump in here and get things going, trying to make sure the logistics side of things are correct, the sound and audio and visuals and stuff. So as I get going with this and ramp this up, these will get way better as far as production and the quality and the topics and stuff. So right now I'm just kind of putting this together throughout the week when I have time, and I hate to keep putting these off. So that's why I decided to just go ahead and jump in here today. So thanks for being a part of it. I like the knives. Thanks, Wendy Taylor. I appreciate you jumping in. Wendy, if you have any questions about the knives, just shoot me an email. It's in the description of the channel, and I will get those sent over to you. Nice collection of knives. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, GMA Nana, for being here this evening. I appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. I would encourage you to get outdoors, especially if you have a family. Get outdoors, spend some time out in nature every day if you can, if you've got time, at least once a week. And get out there, take a walk through the woods, take a walk through the countryside, wherever you've got. If you've got a creek or backyard, that you can get into, I recommend doing it. It's just great getting out and practicing, bushcraft, just walking around, checking out the various different things in nature. Take some tools with you, have some fun, carve some wood. My son and I, we whittle around on pieces of wood like this, and we love just to sit around and do this. This is a lot of fun. And this is something that he looks forward to. And so doing those types of things with your kids, teaching them how to safely use these things, it goes a long ways. And I want to say I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here this evening, and I look forward to the next one. Y'all have a great evening, and stay safe out there. Thanks again.